Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, part of the furniture with me, Daniel. It's season 12, episode 4, and today we're back one game later than planned as we face bottom half Blackburn in the Premier League in a crucial game to try and get away from the relegation pack. If we win this game, we move above 20 points and closer to the top 11 of the league than the bottom 9, whereas if we lose, Blackburn leap above us and we get dragged back towards a relegation battle. So a crucial game in so many ways. And although Chelsea are the bigger team to show on camera, it did feel fair showing a game that was relevant to us and would probably be quite a nervy affair. But since you were last with me, there is some headline news, and it is the fact that our centre forward, who scored so many goals last year and was crucial in getting us to the Premier League, has finally got off the mark. It took him till the 1st of December and his goals were in a disappointing draw, but he's now got 2 braces in a row, which has put us in a brilliant position away from the pack, and as soon as he started scoring some goals, we went flying up the table. So he's developing nicely in training, and now he's getting the goals on the pitch as well. So fingers crossed that's the start of a good season for him, and he'll make it to double figures yet again. You can see we've still got one of the worst attacking records in the league, purely because Rutherford hadn't scored for so long, but again defensively we're up in the top half, which is an absolutely brilliant achievement. If we go and have a look at the schedule since you were last here, you obviously joined me for that brilliant 1-0 win against Liverpool. It really was the spearhead to our season, and although we've had so many disappointing draws, we've only actually lost 1 league game since that one. So after the Liverpool game, we went away to Leicester and drew 1-1. Beja scored a goal from a set piece early on. Unfortunately, we just couldn't hold on till the end though. And then against Tottenham, we took a very early lead, this time through the returning Dimitri Lapin, but unfortunately Tottenham equalised pretty quickly, and that's how it remained till the end. A good result against a big side though, so we weren't too disappointed with that. But we did then go out of the Carabao Cup on penalties, this time to Premier League Wolves away from home. Just 1 penalty missed in the shootout, and unfortunately it was Lee Milne, our goalkeeper, who's actually got the 3rd or 4th best penalty taking rating at the club. He scored 2 in the previous shootout against Gateshead, so it was just a one-off, but a really high standard of penalty taking, that one from Milne aside. Then away to Manchester United came our defeat, 2-0 early on. We dropped to a cautious mentality. I'm ashamed to say I just played the damage limitation game, so we were never going to get back into the match, but we did keep the score down and keep the confidence high. Then at home to Bournemouth, where we're currently playing our games anyway, a very familiar ground, both teams technically at home this season. We drew 0-0 in an awful affair, something that I presume pleased neither set of fans and left them all very disappointed. We followed that up after the international break with another 0-0 draw, this time away to Sheffield United, who were second bottom at the time. Again we dominated the match, but Rutherford just wasn't amongst the goals. He did get on the score sheet though at home to Aston Villa, as we drew against the bottom side in the league. We went 2-0 up with just over 10 minutes to go before we let in 2 goals in 2 minutes. Really naive defending, and unfortunately that cost us the 3 points. We do come into this one with back-to-back wins though. First away at West Brom, Lee Rutherford with a brace after we went 1-0 down early in the second half. That got us back to winning ways, and then a brilliant performance against Chelsea, almost a complete mirror of the Liverpool one you saw on camera. Adam Lewis with a late goal off the bench, as we got another famous Premier League result at home. But today we're back on the road, we go into Blackburn. We're hoping to emulate our performance and result at West Brom. If we can do that, I'll certainly be very happy, and we'll move well clear of that relegation pack. So let's go and get into the game and have a look at the lineup for today. We're not going to focus too much on a particular area off the pitch. I'm just so delighted Lee Rutherford scored. He's been training really well. He's been in the training report almost every week as one of the top 3 performers, and to see him finally get his reward is absolutely brilliant for us. We were lining up replacements for January, players we would have to bring in to try and get a goal, as Bobby Duncan's not quite Premier League level, but thankfully Rutherford's now come to the party and we can stick with him for the second half of the year. Jimmy Lindstrom's doubtful with a hamstring injury today, so we don't really want to risk him if possible, but we have got a big enough squad to cope, as Nico Williams is now back from long-term injury. So our lineup for today is Stevie Maxwell in goal, Cisse and Lonergan Irwin are the fullbacks with Leclerc and Beja in the middle. McDonald's coming for Vladimir in a holding role, just taken over for a few games. Vladimir the youngster struggled early on in the season, so we're just giving him a couple of games break. I'm sure he'll be back in no time. We've got Lapin and Hayes in the middle, Aaron Kozzel on the wings, and the goal scoring machine Lee Rutherford up front. Now he's finally amongst the goals. Let's get into the game as we stick with our positive mentality, and fingers crossed we'll be able to win today to take us well clear of that relegation pack. We've made a few slight tactical tweaks out wide, particularly to the fullbacks. We've asked them to stop crossing more often now and just to cross from the byline. Just because we're aiming for those whip near post crosses, we're trying to make sure that Rutherford's got the best service possible. I figured if the fullbacks are crossing it from deeper more often, it's more likely that they're going to be floated balls or not in front of the centre forward. So we wanted to give Rutherford as much to run onto as possible, and he seems to have scored goals since then, so hopefully it is a permanent solution. We've done the same in midfield again, crossing aim for the centre from the byline, and hopefully Lee Rutherford can get a run on his man and get a couple more goals in this one. So let's get into it and see if we can get a result. It's a 4-2-3-1 for Blackburn, and we've got a couple of reunions in this one. One from this series, which is Purby. He was crucial to us in our promotion winning campaign. Had a pretty poor season with us in truth, but on that final day of the season when we were trying to win the title, he turned up and was absolutely sensational, and he's probably the main reason on that day we finished as the championship title holders rather than the runners up in promotion. But he's now at Blackburn earning 50 grand a week, so we can't complain at him for moving on. He's got a really good personality and he's in the number 10 role there, so I'm sure he'll have a pretty good game. The other one is a bit of a cross-reference from our other series, Billy Gilmore in central midfield for Blackburn. We mentioned him in our very first Premier League game last year because we had Blackburn at home on the first day and they just spent so much money on this guy. I think it was about 40 million, 42 in fact, they'd spent on Billy Gilmore as their linchpin in midfield. He's done a really good job for them, not playing so regularly this year, so perhaps not quite as good as he is in the other series, but either way he's a player we know well from this channel, so fingers crossed he'll have a good game, although not come out on the winning side. They've got a few other real players like Angus Gunn in goal and Shay Ojo, the Liverpool youngster, at left wing, but fingers crossed they won't have too much of an influence today. We're going to tell the lads to go out and impress us just as Stuart Jelling recommends. A few of them are motivated, but I'm not sure it's enough to make a difference. We've got a tunnel interview to say that Everton have lost their manager. It's Nuno Espirito Santo. We're not going to get involved in any of that controversy as the Blackburn ground's nearly empty. I know that we're a small reputation club, although it is building pretty steadily now. We will have a look a bit more this season, particularly at the end of the year, if we manage to stay up, to see how it affects our reputation and how we're comparing with other Premier League clubs. We were mid-table in the Championship based on it at the end of last year, so hopefully we'll move towards the top this year, but it will require us to stay up again and maybe even have a cup run. Gilmore's got the ball in the middle for Blackburn. They're still coming forward. This first highlight's taken a while. Verlinden's got it back and it's wide now to Lima. He's trying to deliver from the right hand side. Ojo's in the middle and Stevie Maxwell has to make a good save dive into his right to deny Ojo's header in the first minute. 4 minutes gone and we're back with Purby. Blackburn have started this game very well. Yes, we've had one shot on target apiece, but Blackburn's one was certainly more threatening. Here's Redmond in the middle out to Lima, trying to deliver the ball in from the wide area, but it's deflected off the fullback and back out to him. Here's Verlinden, inside to Tonali, and now Gilmore. We've got to watch out for him. We know he's a quality player, and he's got the ball out wide to the fullback there. Into Purby, who hits the post. Cisse hacks it for a corner. We are going to drop to a balanced mentality, as we're really getting overrun early on, and fingers crossed we'll just be able to shore things up for half a game, and then we can attack a bit more in the second half. It's out to Blackburn on the right again, but the highlight ends with a score still goalless. Maxwell with a short goal kick to Cisse. We're straight back with another highlight just 3 minutes later as Air plays a 1-2 with the right back. He finds Leclerc. Now Hayes in that deep line playmaker role just goes short to McDonald, the anchorman. Bedger with a long ball over the top. It finds Rutherford. He's got 4 to take on though. Tries to shoot very early and it was a poor effort that deflects away. Adger's on the end of a cross. Brilliant header towards Maxwell, but he gets down to his right and makes a fantastic save. The former Celtic youngster doing a good job there. Another shot gets blocked. It was Redmond on this occasion and is behind for a corner kick as Blackburn are piling on the pressure. Verlinden with the in-swinging delivery. Stoke youngster in real life again. Air heads the ball away as far as Gilmore and Purby's got the ball again. Here's Aya back to Purby. Plays a 1-2 and they're just keeping it on the edge. They are absolutely dominant in this game and we're going to have to do very well to get a result. We're really getting overrun on that right hand side. Our left back area with Lonergan Irwin. Maybe we'll have to drop back our midfielder to support and consider bringing on someone like Adam Lewis. It's into the back post but it's an overhit cross and with 10 minutes gone we finally get a breather. It's a free kick at left back for Blackburn as we've got to a quarter of the game without further incident. They've kept the ball in the middle though and now it's Purby out to Ojo. It has been a bit of a weird Premier League season this year. We've really seen a separation between the top 6 or 7. I'll pause that thought for a minute as Rutherford gets in. Brilliant finish. He's got his confidence back. Hearn and Air laid him in behind. A lovely through ball and Rutherford on his weaker side with a fantastic finish into the corner. We nick one on the counter counter-attack, and now we've got a corner with Kozul. Bedger gets up and loses out in the air. Falls for Lappin and McDonald. Back to Lonergan Irwin, and he's scored a screamer now. What a fantastic goal from the left-hand side. His first ever goal for Torquay after a year and a half of service, and what a moment to score it, and what a goal it is. We've been absolutely outplayed in the first half an hour, but two quick-fire goals, both of brilliant quality, have turned this game on its head. We've got a warning to close Ojo down, which we'll do, but with 10 minutes to the break, I'm getting more excitable as we lead 2-0 at Blackburn. We've got to half-time without any more highlights. It really seems to have knocked the stuffing out of Blackburn, those two quick-fire goals. A brilliant finish by the left-back of all people after Rutherford got on the score sheet again. We'll tell the lads we're pleased and get back into the second half. Dimitri Lappin's got the ball from the kick-off. He plays a 1-2 with the centre midfielder and it's out to air on the right-hand side. Charging forward, there's no pressure on him. Looked like it was possibly a foul, but it's been cleared away by Blackburn and the highlight ends. Going back to our point on the Premier League, you can see the top halves are quite congested this season and the bottom half also, but there's quite a big gap in between. We may be the team that bridges that gap today, but it is a little bit strange in comparison to last season where it was really bunched up from around 7th to 15th and it just meant that we could go up and down loads of positions, which doesn't seem to be the case so much this year. It's almost as we mentioned at the start of the season that there's two Premier League tables within one, but we'll pause that thought for a minute as Lonergan Irwin nicks it high up the pitch, puts in Rutherford and his shot's blocked. It's behind for a corner kick on the left. It's going to be taken by Kozul, an out-swinging delivery with his left foot, but it's overhit to the back post and cleared away for Verlinden. Lappin's tripped him, it's a cynical foul, he'll probably get a yellow card for that, but we don't mind too much on that occasion. Just 25 minutes to go, we've got a long throw in from the left with Cisse. He's gone straight back to him as the header's cleared away. Lappin gets the ball on the edge of the box, Hayes had laid it off to him. He scored an absolute screamer from the edge of the box instead. We lead 3-0 at Blackburn. It just proves you don't have to spend astronomical amounts of money. Billy Gilmore was £42 million, almost the entirety of what we spent on R3 this summer, and for that price we've got just as much quality as well as a lot of youth on our side. 20 minutes to go, we are going to make a change. We were just getting overrun on that left hand side a bit, so Kozul's going to come off, Adam Lewis comes on for him and just drops into that wide midfield role. In 5 minutes time we may do the same on the other side, but it's a little bit harder today as we haven't got Jimmy Lindstrom fit to come on. 15 minutes to go, let's make another change. Hernan Air is the worst performer of the rest, and I say that with a 7.1 rating. We're certainly not disappointed with him, and Nico Williams will come on in his place, a rare Premier League appearance for him. It's good to get on after a long-term injury, and with 5 to go, we can surely celebrate victory now. James Hayes, one of the players on a yellow card, he's going to come off, and the youngster Ray Probert, who came for our youth intake 18 months ago, will get another chance to impress in the Premier League. I've highlighted his attributes here, so you can pause it and look at just how well he's developing. Although he doesn't have any attributes above the 14 yet, with the exception of balance, he is coming along quite nicely, and he's a really well balanced player in terms of attributes, so I think he's going to be absolutely brilliant, and fingers crossed we'll be proven right with that one. More importantly, we don't want to lose him, as we did with Richard Quirk. I know it'll be hard if someone comes in with 25 million, but that 25 for Quirk got us to the Premier League, and now we don't really need to do that again. Gilmore gets the ball to Raya as Blackburn are coming forward. He plays it into Ojo 25 yards out, and although they've got in again on this occasion, we have defended brilliantly so far, and another header away by Bedger, and Lappin gets to the loose ball first. Rutherford's running off him, if he can find him there. He's beaten 2 men, it's a brilliant effort, and Angus Gunn makes the save to tip it wide. We've now got another corner kick. We're really enjoying ourselves out here, we're soaking up pressure brilliantly, and on the counter we're absolutely deadly, and Blackburn have really struggled to cope with us. Here comes Redmond for Blackburn though, gives it away to Cisse, brilliant defending from the right back, just standing his ground and waiting to make the challenge. Aya's got the ball on the edge for Blackburn, delivered to the back post, it drops for Gilmore, into Verlinden, back to Gilmore again. He's trying to get a shot away but he's held up in the end. Redmond finally does shoot and Leclerc blocks it. Brilliant defensive work, the positioning's fantastic, the lads are following the tactic down to a T, and I think these lads have finally settled in. Gilmore's lost out in midfield and now Lappin can come forward, tries to put in Rutherford but it's just under hit, and as we go into into 4 minutes of stoppage time, we're really enjoying this occasion. One of our most convincing Premier League wins of all time, a fantastic performance on the road, and if the Blackburn Stadium was empty at the start of the game, it's even more empty now. It's a long ball forward by Maxwell. Rutherford gets it out to the centre forward. It goes wide to Lewis on the left. He's got a man running off him in Lappin, into the box, bullet finish into the bottom corner, brilliant strike across the keeper, just how you get taught on a Sunday morning, brilliant effort from Lappin, a brace for him, and he's really coming to the party now. He's starting to settle in quite nicely. A minute and a half of stoppage time to go. Ojo wins it on the left for Blackburn. Burns gets the shot, but it's blocked yet again, and McDonald clears it away for a throw. I'm aware I'm probably getting louder during this episode, but I'm really excited with this performance. It's been one of our best away victories in the season so far, and probably one of our best victories in the series. A really fantastic performance, considering the level we're at, and the clubs we're competing with, the amount of money they've spent. This has really secured survival for us now. I know we're only into the 20s in terms of points, but we're so far clear of that relegation pact with this victory that I really don't have any cause for concern this season, particularly with the January transfer window coming up. As long as we don't lose anyone, maybe we could add one little bit of gold dust to the team, even if it is a better sub-striker, just to build the squad up a little bit more. There's one or two we'd quite like to let go, so we wouldn't rule out there being a bit of money available, and we're just rambling through the last minute of this game, talking about our January transfer plans, as there's no threat to our goal at all, and what a fantastic position to be in with a couple of minutes to go, away from home against a mid-table side. A wonderful performance, some of the best goals I've seen this season. Rutherford's finish was so composed, Lonergan Irwin's goal was something else, Lappin's first one was a screamer, and his second one a textbook finish, brilliant strike across the keeper, and I couldn't be more pleased with that performance. We'll tell the lads we're happy with the result, as well as the way they played. They certainly did impress us after that first half an hour, where they had to soak up an awful lot of pressure. It's a comfortable victory and we couldn't be more pleased. We're going to go and praise Lappin for his form in front of goal. He's already scored one before and that was a pretty good goal as well. So 3 for the season for him now. He's got an assist as well, so not a bad turnout for the first half of the year. I want to see how much he's worth now, as he's been training quite well as well. And you can just see he looks a fantastic player, and he's still a key player for the Ukrainian national team. We've got an unbeaten record going now, 6 matches in a row in the Premier League, albeit the first 3 of those were disappointing draws. That's now 3 wins on the bounce, including that emphatic one today and a brilliant home win against Chelsea last time out. We'll go and do the press conference because we never do them on camera. Let's go and see what sort of questions we're getting at the moment. It's a positive result and the lads deserve the reward. It's a great feeling when everything comes together. We normally get that line of questioning when we win by 4 or more. Dimitri Lappin was absolutely outstanding. I'll break the trend of picking the second option because he was that good that he deserved the first one. The fans love Tala Cisse. We keep getting bids of around 20 million for him, but we're not letting him go anywhere unless we can bring back Richard Quirk instead. They're asking us about a lack of possession, which is actually quite a good question, but as you saw, it didn't affect us today. We soaked up pressure, let Blackburn keep the ball, and then hit them with some sucker punches on the counter-attack. There's hundreds of ways to get the job done, and we're versatile enough to cope with what happens. If we have to drop off like that one, we drop to a balanced mentality, and we can catch teams out on the counter, as we've got pace to burn all over the pitch. So that result leaves us in 12th in the Premier League. Let's go and have a quick look at the table. Obviously, you'll notice by the calendar at the top, we're in mid-December now, so the next episode will be in the January transfer window. We unfortunately got Liverpool in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. We may well be able to put our first team out for that, but unfortunately it looks like we won't be going on a run this year, so no cup success on this occasion. We're on 21 points after 17 games. We're aiming for 40 of course, so we're well on course for that, but the relegation zone this season is on so many fewer points than usual, just 10 points after 16 games. I feel like teams are only going to need about 35 to stay up. So Lee Rutherford, after a terrible start to the season, he hadn't scored a goal after his first 13 league appearances. Now he's got 5 in 17 and he's averaging almost 1 in 3, which is what you normally expect of strikers in bottom half teams. So if he gets to 12 in 36, we'll be delighted. So certainly no complaints in that one. But we're in a really decent position in the league now and can push on to try and get into this this mid-table pack. I think we've got the side for it. It's only when we get a few injuries we're in trouble. The likes of Bobby Duncan, Nico Williams and Lewis, they're not quite good enough for Premier League football. The one player I really would look for in January is a holding man. McDonald and Vladimir are vying for that position, but neither of them are really top Premier League quality. So I'd love to get a real midfield enforcer in there, just like we did with the other two positions in the summer. But let's go and have a look at the schedule, see which are the most exciting games in January, or perhaps even the most appropriate, as we try to deal with the transfer window too. We're not going to show the FA Cup game, as I'm going to put out a reserve side. I've just seen there's an Arsenal game 4 days before in the league, and that's far more important than the FA Cup this year. Once we get to our third Premier League season next year, and can improve 2 or 3 more of our first team positions, it will give us a naturally stronger backup team, and allow us to attack the cups a bit more, and I wouldn't mind rotating if we're comfortable in mid-table, but I just can't trust us not to go on a poor run at the moment. So the last game in January is at home to Wolves, who I think were directly above us in the league. They are, so that looks like it'll be another good clash. So we'll come back for that one on the 29th of January, and then focus on deadline day just a couple of days later. Fingers crossed we'll be able to do a little bit of work in the window, but with our new transfer strategy, it's certainly not the main priority at the moment. If we can get a good first team player in, then great, but if not, we'll leave it till the summer and improve considerably in 2 or 3 positions again. But if you did enjoy this episode and that fantastic performance at Blackburn, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of the performance and where on earth all those wonderful goals came from. I really think Lappin's starting to settle in now, and our team's starting to gel and really come together, and I think it's starting to show in our performances. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories, this one with Torquay United, and then our Journeyman series, The Head Coach. We're well into season 11 of that one now, and it's certainly been an interesting year so far. There's also weekly content from my Snooker 19 career every Friday at 4:30, and then there's plenty of content this week and next from Cricket 19, the new official game of the Ashes. I've really enjoyed the previous editions of the game, so I'm hoping you'll enjoy my content from this one. But a massive thanks for watching and your continued support with the series. I really do appreciate it, and we'll see you next time for another big episode as we focus on transfer deadline day.